Hello people sitting in the house are doing. It's on the light. Today I just wanted to talk about, I know it's a bit early in the day to be talking about this, but the mistakes we have made as a country and as a government, I suppose, in the last few years, in neglecting the health service and neglecting the Defence Forces and things like that. And it's something that I've learned, with this coronavirus. Sadly, it takes a disaster to remember, that things can happen and we have no control. We have no control of this coronavirus at the moment. And as humans, we're vulnerable. It's an act of God. And it comes around. It does happen. We have no control over it. And we in this country, the head chief medical officer and the Taoiseach and everybody said we were prepared. In February, in beginning of February, we were prepared for this. But in fact, ICU beds, more or less emergency beds, we have the most lack in the whole of Europe. We have less per capita than any other country in Europe. And it goes, and that's one of the things. And neglect, not putting enough under the HSE, and not treating the nurses, not treating the doctors right. And obviously, I don't even have to explain about the Defence Forces, how bad the government treated the Defence Forces. Because they absolutely give them tuppence, and that's what they said was that. And they cut the spending for the Defence Forces. God knows how many have left in the last few years to go and get better jobs in Tesco's. And even the whole career behind to go and do a job in Tesco. And that's something that we need to, it takes a disaster. I know it sounds very harsh, but it does take a huge disaster to, make up the mistakes, I suppose you can say, and to learn from our mistakes, if you may use that word. And what I have learned, and this is something that if I ever do go into government or anything like that, and I'm already in local government, but if I do go into top government in Ireland, I have learned that we can't be controlled. That we're not in control of our own destiny. Things can happen that are out of our control. And that's why we should, have the max amount of money put into the health service, the max amount of money put on the feds, and things like that. It was small things that could make a big difference whenever we need them. But we were quickly unprepared in this country for the absolute amount of people that got it. And it's something, I know it's late, it's very early in the day to be talking about this, but it's something, I just wanted to talk about, because we do need to ask questions after this is all done and say, what have we learned from this atrocity, more or less, this coronavirus. And it does take something very nasty to change the world, and it does take something very nasty to change society. And I think this coronavirus will change Irish society for better or for worse. And I think we will learn a good lot of lessons. And the one lesson we have to always remember, that you never know what can happen tomorrow. We don't know what can happen in an hour's time. We don't know what can happen in 10 minutes' time. We don't know what can happen in the next second. Something could fly through the window there and hit me in the head. The whole floor could collapse underneath me at any moment. We just don't know. We just don't know. And it's up to the man above to be in charge of our own destiny. And that's something I've learned, it's something I've learned during this coronavirus. We can't control. It's the man above who makes the decisions. We're just taking the orders. We're just suffering the consequences, or we're suffering the goodness of the Lord's blessing or the Lord's want. That's what I've learned really in the last. That we have to, when the time comes after this is over, we have to, pay back our doctors and our nurses and people who work so hard during this emergency. We have to. It's not even a question. We have to. We have to bankrupt ourselves nearly, to pay back, because even giving them everything, all the money in the world, we can't take them enough. And they deserve it. All the doctors and nurses deserve it. And I nearly would give them all my clothes. I need to give them shoulder off my back to some of the nurses and doctors that are doing amazing work. Because they deserve it. And I keep saying it over and over again, but I can't get over how great they are, and how brilliant they are, and how determined they are to save lives. It's just amazing. It's amazing. Them people are amazing. But I'm just saying to people, there will be questions to ask, and now is not the time. I know people are saying we get through this first, but I just wanted to say, we have to ask questions, and we have to be prepared for what's to come after all this is done. I know it's a bit, early in the day, as I said, we talking about this, but you better early, I suppose. Better get it out before this is over, I suppose. But hope to God that we'll get over. We'll be over this soon. Please God, we will. And life can return to some kind of normality in this country. We can only pray to God and hope to God that He give us strength to go through this week and to go through next week. Through Christ the Lord, amen. Thank you.